Hello, my beautiful, intelligent creatures. What time you join me, it doesn't matter. These readings are timeless. So I do the 13 zodiacs, okay? If you're new to this channel, 13 zodiacs. And I do singing, dancing, all creative, artistic ways of expressing myself. If you like it, great. You can like, share, subscribe, but it's not mandatory. If not, that's okay. There's tons of people out there. There are billions of people on the planet. So the right people will come across my channel at the right time, all right? I've got 3 more readings to do for the rest of this month. I've been noticing, you know the Akashic Tree? Like not just the family tree, but like the Akashic Tree and the Celtic version of that when it comes to tattoos or drawings or anything like that. I have been seeing the Celtic Tree everywhere. So right now is really crucial to dig deep into our Akashic records. Those of you that do the spiritual work, those of you that are light workers, those of you that are doing your healing internally, it's really important right now to be doing this sort of work because our ancestors are asking for our help. In my opinion, past, present, and future are all coinciding at the same time. And as much as I want this tea, it's very hot. So sometimes information comes to us at the right divine timing, and we may kind of get a little impatient, or we want things to work out a certain way, or it to be like fast. Like myself, I like things to be resolved pretty quickly. I don't like leaving things like kind of up in the air or anything unresolved. And just like this tea, I've got to wait till it cools down a little bit until I can actually enjoy it without burning my mouth off. So let's get to it. We've got 3 left. Aquarius, okay? Let's see. You know what I haven't used in a while? I haven't used that big book of mine. I've been using the little one. So if you're unfamiliar with what I do, my style, the only tarot reader that uses a dictionary. Okay, yes, I use it as a tool to do my readings. Those words that come out to me at the right time are integrated into the reading as a form of understanding the picture a little bit more. And I was using like a bigger book, but right now I'm just using this small little one. And it's quite worn, to be honest. I've got to like do some work on this to have it all go nicely so I don't lose it. And it's interesting because this doesn't have every single word that's in the English language, but it was from 1990 edition. So it's kind of interesting. Oh, Aquarius, what kind of danger you got going on? That keeps popping out. Shield, need to protect yourself. Need to protect your emotions. So you're allowed to feel your emotions. You're allowed to embody them. Don't let them get carried away, obviously. You want to have that self-mastery, and you want to be able to protect your emotions by not allowing other people to change your frame of mind, or let's say you're in a high vibrational state. Don't let other people kind of change or sway you. If you're in a good mood, don't allow them to kind of project onto you to get the pot stirring and they just kind of poke at you. Honestly, if you are healed to the point where you've already done that work, it shouldn't be a trigger. But if it's still a trigger and you're still working on it, it seems to me that those of us in the general collective, we happen to be like a huge fucking sign in front of our face saying, hey, disturb me right now because I'm doing my healing work. So do your meditation, keep grounded, stay hydrated. Don't let other people mess with you right now. Okay, what do we want to start off with right now? Handwritten cards. Keep your peace, okay? Normally I don't lick my thumb, but works a little bit better. It's like it's just big enough. Okay. you know, I could try doing something different. Maybe you've been doing the same thing again and again and again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay them flat out in front of me, and then I'm going to choose from there. I think that sounds good. I will read these ones that just fell over on the side. Ask living relatives to tell you something they have kept a secret from you as a child. If you're bold enough, if you're brave enough, if you're healed enough, ask your relatives the questions that they never really wanted to truly answer. Okay, if you're not talking to them right now, that's fine. You're allowed your boundaries. But if you are still speaking to your relatives and they're more forthcoming when asked the right questions, then go ahead, ask. Just watch their reaction. So their facial gestures, the energy that they are giving off, their body language, their tone of voice. Watch their reaction and or listen. Okay, or both. Use your intuition, use your judgment based off of what you're being given. Use your discernment, okay? Because sometimes it can be when you're dealing with certain people, if they're not fully healed and you're not interested in helping them with their journey, but you recognize certain entities that come through certain people, then do use your discernment, okay? Sometimes people will answer them true, authentic self, and sometimes they'll answer in the form of a different entity. So the more astute you are, the more that you've done your work and your practice, you'll be able to pick out what energy is coming out of what person. It's not to say that they're not the same person. It's just sometimes other energies use people that are more vulnerable, that haven't been fully awake and aware, and they haven't been doing their healing work. So they're kind of a little bit more in their shadow side, making them a little bit more susceptible. So if you can pick up on that. I remember a lady I was talking to like years ago. She's like, sometimes I just say random things and I know like it's to upset people, but she's like, it's like something takes over me. That in itself, almost like having an addiction, just like being able to admit it outright and call it out is the first step. And then what you do based off of that, you move forward because you're in control of your body, okay? You get to control. That's the whole point of having free will. And sometimes there are certain things out there that are surrounding us that kind of want to take advantage. They don't have a vessel. They don't have a body. They're looking for hosts, right? That's why drinking can be a little bit of a problem, especially when you don't have control of yourself or anything like that. Any kind of thing that is going to kind of augment your reality or your state of mind and not allow you full function of your vessel, or even just the logic point of it too, okay? The animals around you, tell a message, familiar or unfamiliar. They can help here and in the spiritual realm. I was recently like thinking about like adopting or fostering. So if you're thinking about this right now, Aquarius, now is a good time. You may be needing to partner up with your familiar. There may be one out there right now looking for you or waiting on you. They know a lot more than we do when it comes to this 3D, 4D realm, and they could just be waiting for that moment in time where you find them and reconnect with them. Even when points you make are valid, there is a true time and place to speak it. So let's say you're the one that likes to go up and ask questions, right? Let's say they give you an answer, but you don't really like the answer. Well, hopefully they're saying it truthfully. And if they're speaking the truth, it's not whether or not you like it, it's whether or not you listen to it and take that in. And sometimes we may have valid points to counter that, but then we weren't really asking to listen, were we? We were just asking with our ego, and then when they responded, we kind of jump on that with having to prove some sort of point. So yes, your points may be valid, but there's a time and a place for them. If you really want to learn certain things and you want to ask questions, then do so without expecting to give a response right away. And more so just take it in and listen first and understand it. I had a lot of issues with that when I was younger. I always listened to respond instead of listen just to hear a person. And it was really hard because my brain was working so fast at the time and I overanalyzed things, and I always have like a retort or something to say afterwards. And it frustrated the shit out of a lot of people. I know it did. At the time, I didn't have control over it, and I didn't practice, nor did I have the tools to know how to control myself. And then the older I got, the easier it was for me, and I actually practiced how to communicate better with people. Believe it or not, me, myself, I was not always the greatest. Okay, listen to your intuition, even if it seems odd when it comes to protecting yourself. That was at the very beginning. We talked about that, protection, shield. If there's any kind of danger or chaos going on around you, maybe there's people fighting around you, you may not be involved, or there's certain people going through chaotic moments in their life and they kind of want to drag you in with them. Don't get caught up with it, okay? You can help the best that you can. If your cup's full, if you're taken care of, but if you get too involved with a person, you might like kind of, it's almost like two cloths, right? And you use one for the counter and one for, let's say, bathroom stuff, the toilet. You don't want to cross-contaminate the two of them. And if they're ever going to come into contact, they have to be like thoroughly sanitized, right? So it's the same with energies too. Take it as it resonates, okay? All right, let's get right into this, Aquarius. I don't want to waste no more time here. Aquarius, what do we got going on for Aquarius? Keep in mind, these are the 13 zodiacs, like I said before. If you're not sure or familiar, please do your own research and look it up. It just means the dates are a bit shifted, and there's actually 13. That wanted to come out and went back in. Hermit mood. All right. So you're either in the midst of doing that right now, which is why people are approaching you and maybe like kind of poking at you a little bit, or you've yet to get into this because it kind of came out, but then, pardon me, then went back in. And then we have the 4 of clubs in the reverse, and it went all the way over there. You could have had like a rough relationship, or you were working on something, whether this be a project or some sort of shared knowledge, or maybe even constructing a home, or building something together. You were working on a project with somebody and it didn't really work out. This could be like a difference of opinion. Difference of mindset. One could be more out of the solar plexus, one could be more out of the heart, and although both are good intention, does not necessarily mean you're going to see eye to eye. And that's okay. Not always do we see eye to eye on things, and I think that's kind of what pushed you into this hermit mode. Okay, so any kind of fears or insecurities or anything like that, this could be you or the other person. We got the 8 of Swords in the reverse. Not wanting to be tied up to anything. Not wanting to be tied to another person. Maybe commitment. Not wanting to have to co-sign something. That could be what I'm looking at right now. Or not wanting to follow through with the blueprints or the instructions of the other person. So what I'm picking up is like you worked to a certain point together, and then you came to a disagreement. This could be the color of the fucking wall. I don't know. You came to a disagreement, and for some reason, everything that was bent up till then that you guys weren't speaking about, which is part of going in with hermit mode and wondering, like asking yourself why, or asking other people certain questions to find out where your triggers are coming from. It could have started off with that, like just the color of the wall, or color of the or the shape of the crown molding, or whatever you call it, and then it escalated from there. And the Empress being in the reverse is not having stability within your emotions and not using your best judgment. So you kind of like let your emotions take over for that specific thing, which leaves you in this Empress energy in the reverse. This could be them as well. And maybe you not reacting, it could have been them really not liking your ideas or your plans for this. Corned, like C-O-R-N-E-D. They could have thought the idea was corny. They've just got cured by salting. So when we say a person's salty, cured by salting, sometimes going through certain emotions, let's say you cry or something like that, it'll make you feel a lot better afterwards. And if it's something like just the color of a wall or having to work on a project together, maybe you've built for so long, it can be upsetting. But once you release the emotion instead of holding on to it, it's good. This other person maybe needs to release the emotion, but what I'm picking up here is that the person that you're dealing with, they already had things going on in the background and they maybe not have said anything. So this tiny little thing could have set them off, and maybe they started crying in front of you, which made you feel really awkward and uncomfortable, and you didn't want to be bound to anything like that. Which again would be the Empress in the reverse, because most of the time the Empress understands other people's emotions. Like almost all the time, the Empress energy is understanding, very knowledgeable, very wise. And when another person may be having a meltdown or a reaction or something like that, they're able to understand that point of view of the other person. Not understanding that point of view from the other person would lead to a bit more conflict because that lack of understanding is in itself chaos. So the ability to transmute the situation would be really important. I don't know what you're going to do about that if you're currently going through this right now, Aquarius. Submit. You can choose just to give in and let bygones be bygones so that the project can continue. Submitted to yield or surrender, to refer to a state as a claim. Okay, if this is a fight over some sort of property or something, or maybe it's a business plan, or maybe this is sharing a business, if you have to separate, to surrender, to acquiesce, to suffer without complaint. So you could have been going through a lot without saying anything to this person up to this very point, and when they reacted, you were like, okay, that's it, enough, I'm done. Or vice versa, you've been holding it in for so long that when the person finally pushed you to the limits, maybe they were starting to take over, they had a bit of control freak kind of energy coming through, and you didn't want to be bound to that. You didn't want to work with that kind of energy. So it's put you in this hermit mode, kind of sent you on your way a little bit, which is fine. It doesn't mean things can't be completed in the long run. It just means that you maybe needed to take a break. Maybe both of you did. So I'm only seeing the two energies here right now. Can we get more on the hermit mode? What is Aquarius going to learn from this? Oh, that went over the 4 clubs, but it's in the reverse, face down. Maybe neither of you are looking at the full situation or the full spectrum of what has happened from all sides because of the emotion. Lack of patience. Temperance in the reverse. Came over the Empress in the reverse. Okay, that's that lack of judgment there. Due to not wanting to be bound to something. And then we've got the oh, they're childish as fuck. Page of Swords in the reverse. This, okay, maybe this person's younger than you. Like, it doesn't have to be a romantic partnership here. This is just somebody we're working with. Usually I don't stutter like that, so I don't know whose energy this is, but they could speak really, really fast and maybe it's hard to understand them, or maybe when they get upset, they kind of stutter a little bit. This Page of Swords energy, what I'm picking up on is like they are like, you may keep your mouth shut and suffer in silence or whatever, and this Page of Swords will say or do certain things maybe for the project or whatever you're working on, or maybe you're forced to work together and you don't want to do it and you're just like, oh my god, this person is giving me a fucking headache. I mean, I don't like hate the person, I understand, but like their mindset, or maybe they're just really younger. There's an age difference between you, or it could be mentality. But you, being the Empress, are normally in the upright. Take it as it resonates. This could be you or them, but normally in the upright. And this person's pushed every single fucking button that you have. They should know better, but they might not. What else we got here? Oh, even when points you make are valid, there's a true time and place to speak it. This could be that person as well. This could be family that you're working with. 4 of Cups. You'll be given an opportunity, whether this is like an out or this is just a different mindset, so you come together and collaborate better. This could be just a separate offer in general. Okay, and Six of Swords, kind of like that saving grace energy, putting woes behind you, or putting any kind of words spoken behind you. One could be a little bit ashamed, so there could be a moment, if it hasn't happened yet, Aquarius, that you're both going to make amends. Okay, and the shitty things that were said or whatever are put behind you both. Not having to worry about that, just having to focus on what's being given in front of you. But the thing is I'm only seeing it being offered to one person. This is the same sort of tree here. This is some coverage. Is that insurance? Maybe somebody made a mistake and it cost. There's some coverage here, or there's some support. You could have spoken up and made certain judgment calls really quick, which allowed you to have several offerings, but you're only really interested in the one. There's 4 different cups here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, but this one, you're like, oh my God, that's perfect. Could be an idea, it could be what you needed for both of you to come together, or maybe what you're just doing on your own. Are you going to be working again with this person? Are you going to be working again with this person, or you going your separate way? You're doing the introspection, the hermit mode. You're thinking about it, analyzing the situation. It's kind of like a dance of life, yeah. King of Coins. Somebody that came to you and offered you something may be a very wealthy person, well-known person. Maybe that's great if this is a business thing. Somebody that's going to approach you and give you an offering. Could be an offering of money, or just a proposal for a collaboration with them instead, or maybe to help fix whatever the fuck up this is, whatever you don't want. Or this is somebody you actually did want to work with and you're willing to partner up with them. Whoever this is to you, this is somebody that is very well-rounded, classy. They've got both their hands on their money, so they don't let nobody meddle in their finances. Maybe they do their own financing, or they know certain connections and stuff like that, and they may not give you like a scholarship or a grant or something like that, or even like a check, but they very well could. But if they don't, then they can offer all the connections and sources. So that would be like marketing, or knowing certain people in that line of business. This could be like real estate or something like that. Whatever this is a good connection for you, and that's the offering that's coming up. Can we get a little bit more on the situation, please? Help me out. I'm hearing you ran us ragged. So like ran us dry. You ran us to the point where we had nothing left. This person could have used the budget. 10 of Coins. So within a family dynamic, quite possibly, not necessarily. That could be where this King of Coins is from, but somebody has made poor choices. That could be this younger person over here. So let's say they're given a bunch of money and you're supposed to be working with this fucking person, and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, and they've got you in this Empress in the reverse energy, this Temperance in the reverse energy, this not wanting to be bound to this shit energy, and then sent you right into hermit mode. Like, you know what? I need to go for like a massage or a spa day or something. But this 10 of Coins in the upright, it is available. It is accessible. But somebody could have misused it. That could be the opportunity that's going to let you like kind of go on your own way. The 6 of Swords energy. Can we get past life oracle cards? What's the pattern here? Knighthood. So the person coming in, or you yourself, have a bloodline from knights. Okay, you've also got the unicorn on here. So this is like a rare blood. This could be your DNA, and you have access to a lot of wisdom. You have access to a lot of protection. Maybe everybody in your family is really used to being outspoken and loud and kind of, I want to say arrogant, but not really. Okay, that sort of truth is really important. I think you've already learned this lesson already. I don't think that Page of Swords has learned the lesson, though. Celtic ties. So, Aquarius, you could have Celtic ties. This can go back generations. This could be your form of generational wealth. Your lucky charm. Hands open in the middle. That's what I'm noticing for this one. This would be ancestors. So, past life. What's the lesson? This could be of managing money. The lesson that's passed down, that's one of the lessons that needs to be. I don't know if you yourself have already learned that. You could have. Pick one. Holy. I've been saying that a lot lately. And I will tell you right now, since I could speak, I never really said that. Holy. That's not me, but yet for some reason, I don't know whose energy is in mine, or who's tapping into my energy, or who's in my energy bubble. But somebody has an influence over me right now, and they keep saying, holy, and now I find myself saying it all the time. I don't remember hearing it on anything. I don't remember anybody I work with or deal with, or anybody in my close circle. I don't remember watching anything or anybody saying that specifically or hearing on the radio. I just randomly, this is about like 2.5 weeks, yeah, about that it started. And it's just so weird because that's not how I speak. You ever get that? That's what I mean by different like energies or entities and stuff like that. You know you pretty good, I would say. I would hope that most of you that watch my video, you know yourself very well. And when you start acting a certain way that's not you, you're able to discern that that's not your energy. And you're like, okay, you may be mimicking somebody, you like it. Or maybe you're doing something because you're constantly hearing it. But ultimately, you know when something is your authentic energy, your imprint. And when it's not, you should be able to pick up on that. That's a part of discernment too. That could be one of the lessons that you're learning. Maybe this other person was falling way too close to you, up your arsehole. You do have Uranus. Just saying. This is a little bit playful and jokes, but some people really can feel like they're up your butthole. And they just need to fucking take a chill pill. They copy way too much. Okay, I'm only taking the one. You know what? No. It's good to know. What are the other lessons here? Forgiveness. Clear. I don't need to give too much for that one. This is past life oracle card, so this is also what your ancestors learned. And I swear to God, my speech is so different right now. And I don't have a retainer in. I don't have no gum. I ate some oysters. Mussels and oysters. No, what is it? Yeah, smoked oysters and mussels with crackers. I want that tea so bad. So maybe you want that power, you want that coin, you want that position so bad, and you can almost taste it, but you gotta fucking be patient. No matter what people are doing or how they're throwing you for a loop, because that's just gonna screw everything up. If you don't wait, you're gonna end up fudging it up. Okay, monk or nun? So you could have taken a vow, not just to yourself, but other people, or this is what your ancestors did in the past. Or this could be your past life as well, what you used to do. If you were more reserved, you know what you don't like. That's for a fact, Aquarius. You know what you don't like. That energy is strong. You don't want to be bound to shit. And then communal living. You could be used to dealing with multiple people, many, many people. Or maybe you came from a really big-ass fucking family and you're used to being able to handle people, but this person just pushed you right to the very fucking edge. It's like, you know what? That's it. Done. Male, female. This could even be a cousin. Alright, male, female, back to back. This could be balance too, duality. If you're not getting along, let's say you're female and they're male, or you're male and they're female and you're cousins or something and you're not getting along, or maybe siblings, or maybe good friends. We're good friends. This mirroring energy. If you're looking away from each other, you're not learning the lessons that you need to, right? You're kind of avoiding the situation. I'll pick one card for that. Odd. Eucalyptus. Antibacterial. Clarity, focus, fight infection, congestion, coughs, or... Oh, by the way, quitting smoking. I did for 2 years, and then I started smoking for a year, and now we're on the following year, and quitting smoking, because I want that beautiful voice of mine to be able to sing karaoke. So you could need some help with your chest or your lungs. There may be something there. Have the courage if you need to go to the doctors or something like that, or if there's certain things that you need to get off your chest, or maybe you need to clear it up. A bath with eucalyptus is really good. What do we got? Girl talk. Time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment, having fun. So if you need to take up time with your friends, boy or girl, all right, man or woman, if you need to take time with them to sit down and have a conversation, then do so. You may need to vent a little bit. One more, and then I gotta switch before it cuts off. Remember to love you, please do, just in case this video ends quick. The snake. Competition. Enemy, clever, malicious, look over your shoulder, the other woman. Okay, it could be woman and woman that you had to deal with. If this is a business partner, you're like, fuck that. Done. All over the color of a fucking wall. We couldn't decide, right? That's ridiculous. Ridiculoso. I was. Okay, these are Elder Futhark. Okay. And then we've got the moon energy, that which is yet to be seen or spoken. Maybe that's the truth from both of you. Fehu. Alright, look these up. You can pause it. They have multiple meanings. And then we got Big Ass. I like this one. Looks like a bow tie. Maybe you're going to an event and you can settle this shit. Remember to love you. Please do. Take it easy on the other person too.